Well, let's see. I think I'm live. Oh, I'm waiting on two streams. So I'm live on Facebook right now. If you're here, send me a comment. I'm live on YouTube now. If you're here, send me a comment. Love to hear from you. Today's topic is Ask Me Anything. Now, let's be realistic and purposeful with that question. I would love to hear if you've got a challenge or something you're working on in your business. I'd love to hear from you. Whether it's just something you want to share that you're working on that is exciting to you, that would be wonderful. If you haven't had a chance to connect with me before, one of the things I'm passionate about is simply connecting with people. And, I find that to be inspiring. And I shared previously that my viewpoint on that is really about connecting with people and intentionally engaging to create relationships, and not looking at it from the purpose of generating new leads or creating new business, but those relationships turn into opportunities because those experiences between me and another human enable them to then share that experience with other people. That could potentially lead to business. And so if your question today is about, is this my means to create new lead sources? And the answer is no. Do I sometimes have coaching conversations as a result of the things that I'm doing? Absolutely. But my purpose here is genuinely connecting with others in different ways, looking to build new relationships and find out what inspires other people. Those are the things that inspire me, and I'd love to hear about them. So again, if you're joining me, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's something you're working on right now, or if there's a challenge that you'd like to ask for my thoughts on, I'd be happy to share those here. I will probably be hosting a Clubhouse room here shortly with the same topic, and I'd love for you to connect with me there on Clubhouse and join the club, Connect, Engage, Inspire, so you can get notified when I do host those rooms. I don't have a set schedule yet, although I'm looking at what I might do there. Heck, I don't even have a set schedule for these live streams at the moment, but either way, I'd still love to hear from you. Let me check the comments here and see. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, coming in from Facebook. Let's see. Can I display that? Let's see what happens if I try to display that. I'm still learning Ecamm and how that works, but let's see here. Oh, I don't know. I start it. It doesn't add to broadcast. Boom. Does it show everything it's supposed to this time, Elizabeth? We've tried this before and it wasn't showing the comment or the picture. I don't remember which, but let me know if you see the whole thing this time. And thanks for commenting. So good to see you. Hey, so again, feel free to chime in with a challenge you're working on or something you're excited about. Either way, love to chat with you for just a few minutes and see what's going on in your world today. And if there's a challenge you're working on, you'd like some input while we're here, I'm happy to offer what I can. Maybe it's resources that I've pooled over the years that I can refer you to. Again, either way is fine. Let's see what you got. And I'm going to open up another chat over here because I don't know if all the comments are coming in. And yes, Elizabeth says, yes, it shows everything it's supposed to. Thank you, Elizabeth, for helping us test that. You're awesome. Hey, if you don't know Elizabeth, she's an amazing virtual assistant. She does so much behind the scenes for my business and even for the people that we connect with on a regular basis. And we've got some exciting things coming up. In fact, just last night, I mentioned to her that I'm launching something new this month. On the 20th, I'm going to be even a little Facebook logo to show it's coming from Facebook. I love it. Thanks, Elizabeth. Love it. I appreciate you engaging here intentionally. And I was saying, so I'm going to host a one-day intensive on the 20th of November. I think I'm going to do it from like 9 to 3 East Coast time. And that intensive is going to be for any entrepreneur that's out there and has heard how powerful story can be, how powerful having good sales copy can be, and over the past year, I've been leading a session inside of an exclusive community that has been helping people walk through those things. There's lots of resources out there, but sometimes putting them all together and in synthesizing all of that expert advice into one little package that can help you take action now, that can help you put those pieces together and just put it into action so that you can start focusing on what you're here for. And that's to do the work that you love. And if that sounds like something of interest to you, then I'd say just shoot us a note, support@danw.us, and we'll be sure to make that information available to you as soon as I have it ready. I should be finishing up that page today, and would like to get it out there. And if you by chance are listening to this, and if you ever attended my Eagles Nest inside of the 48 Days Eagles community, that's the content I'm talking about. We've been teaching it for the past year, and there's just so much feedback. I want to make that available outside of that exclusive community for people that haven't had that opportunity to just get the extra guidance and putting all those pieces together and making it work for them. Thanks, Elizabeth, for posting that comment with the email address to send us a note. Hey, so what are you working on? I want to know. What are you excited about? What are you doing to close the year out intentionally? Are you just coasting, or are you intentionally focused on having the rest of this time be a more powerful experience? I'd love to know. So ask your questions, share something you're working on. Either way is fine. Looking for my other chat option to make sure I'm getting all the comments. There we go. Oh, hey, Laura, good to see you. Thanks for joining. It's lunchtime where you are. I hope that you're enjoying. And I'm seeing your profile picture here holding your grandbaby. So cute. Congratulations. I don't know how to show this to y'all, but I can see these profile pictures, and they're bigger than I would normally see them on Facebook, and that's kind of fun. So what's something you're working on this week? What's something you're excited about? What's something you have a challenge with? This is a sort of Ask Me Anything session because I didn't really have a complete message to share. I guess I can fill in the gaps a little bit. 60-day goals. Elizabeth says she's working on putting together her 60-day goals, 60 days goals through the end of 2021. I love that, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing that. This is an Ask Me Anything session, and I guess one of the things I wanted to share is a revisit. So I'm working on drafting content that will become part of a new book. And Elizabeth, I haven't told you this yet, but I just struck a new partnership in that effort that I think is going to be super exciting. You know her as a copywriter and another amazing connector. She helps people feel seen. She's helping powerful women really get their products and services out there to the world. And I'm excited to be joining her on this adventure to contribute to this new book effort. But the book is going to be about connections, right? As I mentioned at the start of this broadcast, I'm really passionate about connecting with people and looking for ways to encourage or inspire them. And in my coaching, that comes out a lot like clarity and confidence, and that is an amazing experience. And I'm inspired by the actions that they're taking as a result of our work together. But this one is more about how we can create better connections with people instead of looking at what do I need to do to connect with more people for the purposes of creating leads. I'm suggesting what can I do to intentionally engage with people to create stronger relationships that lead to a more powerful experience in your relationships, in your personal life, and then in your business life, because those powerful relationships, those 100 or 1,000, dedicated fans that you've created by building powerful relationships with them are a true testament to who you are and your work. And what a great way to then receive referrals as a result of people just knowing that you are there and you are genuinely interested in them as a person and have contributed positively to their life, instead of sending me another pitch in my private message or my DMs. And that it's so old, especially now in a time where we've spent less and less time actually being able to engage and connect with other people except through this virtual experience. And while I'm on that topic, we're hearing a lot about the new changes coming to Facebook and in the new name Meta. And that's really leaning into the meta world, the meta universe, as it were, is an entirely different online, in my opinion, disengaged experience. It's creating a new way for people to feel more immersed in the connections they've created in a virtual world. And I think personally, that's going to lead to two things. One, it's going to lead to great opportunities for people who are pursuing those adventures, and people who might be involved heavily in a gaming industry or gaming experience, where that's going to add to your ability to enjoy the experience. But the other side of it is you're going to remove yourself further from truly being able to connect and be with people. And I'm a firm believer that as human beings, as people, we need to be connected with community, with people. We need people in our lives to encourage us. We need people in our lives to challenge us, and we need people in our lives who might not understand everything we're doing and are going to cause us to pause and think about how we're doing things or how we're showing up. And some of you might consider that a negative interaction. I do consider the things that people share with me. Some of them I have to take with a grain of salt, but just causing me to pause for a moment and think, is this something that I'm really tied to, emotionally involved in, and something I want to pursue is a great perspective to carry with you. Anyway, again, I'm looking for questions. If there's a challenge you're working on and you'd like some input on, or if you just want to share something you're excited about working on right now, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I guess my time here for today is about to wrap up, and I appreciate those of you who showed up. I'll give it just a minute and see if there's anything else I can share. Oh, what are my goals through the end of the year? Elizabeth. That's a great question. Challenge me on the spot, and I appreciate that. So my goals through the end of this year are to refocus my time and energy on genuine connections. I'm working to at least have the draft outline of my book completed, ideally by the end of this month. On the 20th of November, we are launching, you're included, we are launching a one-day intensive. We're launching it now, but on the 20th of November, I intend to host a one-day intensive to walk through messaging with people, helping them understand what components of story they should be including, because we talk about story all the time, but there's still too many people out there that are confused about what that really means or how it can look and how it's going to improve or shape the way that they're communicating and connecting with people in their business. We're going to talk through some of the copywriting tips that I've picked up all along the way. And recent news, I'm now participating in the copywriting certification program with Ray Edwards. I'm excited to be working through that material, and that'll be the core. I'm not teaching what he's teaching in that content, but his formula, his framework, and the lessons I've gleaned from Ray Edwards over the years are things that I'll be sharing there, as well as some other tips and just general ideas that I think have been extremely helpful for the 120 or so people that we've supported throughout the past year by delivering that in the Eagles community. And I think I personally believe, and of course I'm biased, that it's going to be a good experience. Goal setting process. That might be conversation for another day, Elizabeth. I love the way you think. Thank you for that. The goal setting process, I use a 7-step process. See, here's what I think about that. And let me finish the first question. Goals for the end of the year. So this workshop is now on the list of goals. moving to full-time coaching practice as my business is one of the goals to close out this year strong. I've been doing more marketing support activities for a few of the StoryBrand guides that I've had relationships with over the years, and that I've started to move more and more away from. So focusing on building those programs out, the coaching through one-on-one experiences, the mastermind that we host. I'm looking to I'm in the midst of standing up a new podcast right now focused on the community here in Titusville, Florida. That's in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce. And so those are just some of the goals that I'm working on right now to help close this year out strong. By the way, if you're interested, if you're here in Titusville and you're hearing this or seeing this, that podcast is titled Love the Ville, and it's based on an initiative here created by the Grove Church and the Chamber of Commerce in collaboration or partnership. And we feel like this is just another great way to start sharing the messages of the leaders here in these communities about what they truly love about Titusville, Florida. And so that's awesome, a super fun project to be involved in. And I'm grateful for those connections, having only been here a few months. It's things like that I'm talking about in the book we're talking about writing, which is the Connect book. So goal setting process. That's a great question, Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing that. And my focus on the goal setting process is something I learned when I was teaching resiliency in the military, and it's a 7-step process. I'm not going to go through all 7 steps here. Again, that's probably best suited for another conversation. But here's a couple of the biggest takeaways or the things that I share when we're talking about that. And it's, first of all, understanding that SMART goals, as most people know, they're familiar with the SMART steps for goal setting. That is only one step of a goal setting process. And the reason I say that is because it's important to include that aspect, but there's a time and place for including that. And I think it's just a very high level overview of where someone can get started if they're not familiar with goal setting. And that gets unfolded. And in fact, I will include goal setting in our intensive on the 20th of November, because I think it's valuable to understand what a full goal setting experience looks like. So that is even more reason for being grateful that Elizabeth shared that question. But the key takeaways are understanding that your goals should be tied to your intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic meaning internal to you, your values. Tying your goals to things that you truly value is how you stay committed to a goal over a long period of time. Extrinsic motivation is more like a reward system, right? Children sometimes get paid for completing chores, but money as a motivator, for instance, is short-lived. If it's not connected to our internal values and the things that are going to drive us, it's hard to stay focused on achieving those outcomes that we've outlined in the goal. But keeping it realistic, keeping it time-bound, those things that you see in the SMART goals, those are important. Clearly identifying where it is you're trying to go, and then building in the steps in a reverse process to understand what it's going to take to achieve that, as well as identifying early the potential obstacles that you know are going to come up. If you're considering a weight loss journey, you know right away you're going to be challenged with friends and events and things along your path that are going to challenge you to eat something that you're not wanting to eat during that process. Or you're going to be challenged most likely with fluctuation in your weight loss as you continue pursuing that. And it would be easy to get frustrated by seeing negative results and failing to understand that, muscle, first of all, weighs more than fat, and water retention on different days. And there's all kinds of factors that can contribute to something like that. But understanding it ahead of time, identifying what those obstacles will look like, will also allow you to plan for those obstacles and be prepared when they do happen. And so you're fully fleshing out what it looks like to work hard on achieving the goals that you've set. So that's just a little bit about my approach to goal setting. And again, thank you for that question, Elizabeth. Is there anything else? Any other questions you want to ask right now that I could talk about? I will include the full overview of goal setting, walking through some specific examples in our one-on-one intensive, not one-on-one, 1 day intensive on the 20th. I'm going to be I'm going to be putting together a bonus VIP option for people who want a little extra one-on-one guidance. We'll have the opportunity to review some of your copy, some of your marketing materials, and just offer guidance from my experience on how you can position them better, reposition them, or communicate more clearly with the people you're trying to reach. And who's this for? If you're here, you might be asking that question. And I'm just going to say it's for any entrepreneur that's out there working to sell more of their products or services through an online experience and building a relationship with their customers or their clients that is going to be more meaningful and impactful. And here's something I want people to understand. It's easy to put a website up. It's easy to put your messaging up there. It's easy to communicate those things. What's not so easy, and something we're going to talk through, is understanding how those people are getting there in the first place. And we want to talk you through what that looks like and how you can create an overall experience that's going to ideally, help more people find the resources that you're putting out there. So we'll be talking about those components of your marketing efforts as well. We'll be, again, covering, copy basics, just an overview of some great things that I've learned along the way from some excellent mentors. And I'll be sharing some of my experiences as a former StoryBrand guide, what those pieces look like. That Donald Miller has put together some amazing work, and I'm going to encourage anybody to go read that book, Building a StoryBrand, and utilize the resources that they have available. And I want to be clear that I'm not teaching you anything specific to StoryBrand. I do want to share with you, though, the understanding of how stories can be impactful to your business, and then provide you with the resources to pursue that. But most importantly, I'm going to talk through those components in a way that simplifies, that collection of resources into something that you can work on right now to start improving your messaging, to improve the way you're engaging with people, and to improve your sales copy so that you have a foundation to start from. So if you don't have that foundation right now, or you're struggling to put all of those pieces together from the different experts and create a clear implementation plan that allows you to take action right now, that's what I want to help you with. And so if that's for you, let us know. I think that's our time today. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Clubhouse and open up a room for a short period of time. I've got another meeting coming up for my wonderful group of 48 Days coaches. We get to participate in that, so I'm looking forward to that call. But until then, I'm going to jump over to Clubhouse. You can find me there. Again, the club that I started is Connect, Engage, and Inspire. I'd love for you to follow the club, get notified when I do host these rooms. And if you have questions or you just want to chat, maybe connect with me in a no obligation there. And I'm not going to pitch you anything. But if you want to connect with me, I encourage you to jump on over there and join me. Until next time, I hope that y'all have a wonderful day.